Hello everyone, it's Adam here. We're going to be, well, let me show you guys a tour of what we're going to do today. You get an idea. So with the LR front tank install, fuel tank, it's really hard to get to the air filter. So this part is the air intake for the 69701, and with the LR tank installed, it's hard to get to these two screws right here in order to lift out the air filter. And so just to make things a little bit simpler, well, for a lot of reasons, it makes my life simpler to have this removed for maintenance, also for storage, and then finally just for simplicity. So we're going to be removing the stock air intake today and replacing it with the intake kit from Rade Garage. Rade Garage has two models available. One, which is what I chose, is cheaper, and it's literally just an empty cubby to put things into, store things. You can run some USB in here, you can put your hat in here, your wallet, whatever, and accessing this just requires taking the seat off. They also sell a kit that is an extra fuel tank, but me, I don't need more fuel, I need more storage. So you have that, you've got some bracket strapping apparatus, you have your actual air intake, which is going to go right here, down below obviously, and then finally a twin air filter, for which I purchased two of them. Oh, and you also get a hose to replace I think the crankcase breather hose. So let's get started. Okay, so we've got a few bolts here to remove. So there's one of these on each side, and there's this one right here. Now on the other side, if you go around, you'll see that there's actually, this is in the way. So you'll need to undo these in order to get to the bolt that's behind it, which if you look, is right. There's one side right there, and then the other side is over here. So you've got to remove that to get to those two bolts. That should be enough to remove it. We'll see. All right, next up, I've cut the zip tie here, and I've pulled this guy out. I also took the ECU out of its hose and kind of moved it out of the way back a little bit. And now we're going to basically undo these 4 screws. And now we're going to be going in here. There's a flathead right there. See that? And that's the air intake clamp. You want to make sure you have in there with this flathead screwdriver and take it out. All right, so you'll see now we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 bolts taken out. This one's kind of being stubborn right there, but it's fine. One other bolt I had to touch was this one here, which you have to remove this piece, and you have to unscrew from up here, and then yank this back enough to get to it, and it'll come out. I've also unscrewed with a flathead the intake hose. There's 2 locations you can do. There's one in the forward and one in the back, and then finally just pulling this crankcase breather hose and get that ready for pull out. So let's see if we can get this guy out of here. Wish me luck. Both of those are out. Now the reason why this is hard, by the way, is because it's a very brand new hose that's connecting this to the intake. And so that, even though it's loose, it's gonna give me a little bit of strife. Eventually it'll pop and hit me in the face. Oh yeah, it's coming. There's that. We can yank this out. There's another hose right here, which appears to go somewhere. Yeah, I look at this hose here. There's a hose here that's kind of stuck. All right, so now you have a hose coming on here on the passenger side. If you follow it down, you'll see it comes to right here. There's a zip tie around it. Just cut that zip tie, and then we're just gonna fish this off like that, and then feed it up. And that'll get us where we can actually remove this thing. Perfect. Airbox is removed. So let's look inside now what we have here. So we've got our intake manifold. Just make sure that whenever I was manhandling, I didn't damage anything in here. It all seems pretty secure, nothing broken. Man, the valve check in here would suck. Well, not as much anymore once we get this new airbox in there, but yeah. It's like our ABS system is there, I would imagine. A whole bunch of wiring. Neat. We've just given ourselves a ton of space. So if you look at this piece here, what we've done is remove the airbox, and we've given ourselves all of this space for storage. Fantastic. Let's keep going. Now to repair the Rade garage airbox for install, you're gonna remove this thing here. There's a little O-ring behind here, don't forget that. Take that off and save it. And you're also gonna push from the inside and pull from the outside and take this hose out as well. Let's go and do that. Okay, so Rade garage wrap up here for the intake portion. And so you'll see here we have this piece here. So this is hooked up in the back. There's a breather tube here, but we actually don't need this because we have we've done an SAS charcoal canister delete. And so I've got to figure out how to plug this probably, just so, because it truly is not necessary anymore. So we're going to put a plug in here. Actually, I could probably use this one here. Nope, I need a bigger one. Let's try a couple things. All right, so as you can see, we have plugged this hole up. And now I've pointed, this is all tightened down on the inside, but the part's going to the throttle body. I have this facing kind of upwards. Make sure this is nice and out of the way. And then just sneak this in. And you'll know once it's cleared, just like that. Then you can take a flathead screwdriver and tighten this guy down. And that's not going anywhere. Now we're going to take our air filter. Oh, people are watching again. Okay, so I'm putting the cage on the inside here. Like so. And it says you put this on the outside. Like this. Looks like this goes that goes through. Like that. There you go. Screw this down. And that's right, yeah. And I don't know what socket size these are. They are an 8mm socket. Fantastic. That's not going anywhere. The great thing about this setup is not only it opened up a lot of space, but it also just made the whole intake much more streamlined. It was a straight shot there. So now we've got the space in here for this very large box. Let's go to that part next. Okay, so now we have the bracket in place. Just a couple more screws to put back there. And then the air box will slide right in and screw down. All right, same video a few days later. I was going through and finishing the edits for the air filter air box install, and I realized that I had never finished the video. And now the bike is in suspension mode. So, or no suspension mode. So here it is, finalized. I just want to give you a rundown of what I did to finish everything up. So obviously, this is all done now as per the instructions. It's all tightened down. I think it was an 8mm to finish that up. So this is all basically very tight now. I don't want to touch the bike too much. And then here's the Rade garage storage bin. So this really I can't do too much to it, but this really can't move anywhere because this is basically held in up here by this. And then you've got these two screws here on the back that keep this from rattling up and down. And then this is included as just a way to sort of keep things tight in there if you want to. But yeah, so this is basically all done now. So what you had before was obviously this huge, massive air box with an air filter that was inaccessible because it was all the way up here under the LR tank. And now you have all this nice little cubby storage where you really could have stuff get lost back here if you're not careful. But great place, honestly, to keep like a really small tool roll if you don't want to keep stuff, if you're not one of those like keep the weight down low kind of person. You could also drill in a hole on the side here and put it through a USB port to charge up your stuff during the day on your ACC, your switch power source. You could put even your fuse block in here to have power running out from there. All kinds of possibilities can go in here. It's really, really nice to have. I mean, this is storage space that it's like having a tank bag full time on the bike without being in your way. So yeah, and if you look down here, you've got your connection right through there with your collars to get to the intake. So there's the air box right there. You'll notice in the side, the crankcase thing that's on the side, the white thing there, I just taped it off. I also taped off the crankcase. Wait, mid-video edit, thanks to, I'm sorry I remember your name, thanks to someone who commented on this video before it was even published. I think he went through the playlist and commented before this video has been published, so I'm re-uploading it thanks to you. So two quick things. The first thing is make sure that you see the green poking out the bottom here. If you don't, you should reset it. So when I was doing it, the green kind of wanted to pop up. So you have plenty of slack back here. Pull it forward, get it in there, and then you can wrench it down and then this won't come back out. But this was starting to come through, so be pulling some dust into the motor. That's the first issue. Second one, he's like, where's your crankcase breather? And I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. I just mentioned before I did this cut, don't need to worry about this, but you do. So ignore the rest of the video. Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna run the tube from down here, zip tie it off, run it down, have it come out here. You're gonna cut it to length and then put it into here and zip tie this off. Now, I don't know how long to make this until the front tank goes back on, because I'm not quite sure how much the front tank needs. There's no video on the LR that I know about, so I'm just gonna basically proceed with the install. You'll see this here for a few days. And then when I put the front tank back on, I will cut this to whatever length is necessary and have it running straight up. Rottweiler in their video says to run it under here, follow the tube, and then bring it out and kind of run it straight up like this, or maybe it's like this. But basically, yeah, whatever they say, you can do that, but you might have an issue with the LR. So we'll keep the video as is for now. And then when I'm done the wrap-up video, I'll talk more about the fitment. Okay, guys, back to the ending of the video. But yeah, this is fantastic, right? I don't imagine I'll have any loss in power. And it's great because I can actually service this oil filter periodically from time to time. And I did grab a spare, which I can replace after a few thousand miles. All right, guys, thank you for watching and ride safe.